If I really had to name the most untrustworthy CEO in the film industry within Hollywood, it is nothing more than Bob Iger, aka Bob Liger as I like to call him, because all he does is lie to his shareholders, to the investors, to the many customers out there that have supported Disney over the years that are deciding to walk away and to support other forms of entertainment. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Bob Iger, if you guys have not been following him lately within, I would say the past 2 to 3 months, he's beginning to sound more and more like a politician. And there's obvious reasons behind all of that, is that he is beginning to actually get closer to the point where he's beginning to step down as CEO in 2026. That's the overall end game right now. However, what's really interesting here has a lot more to do with the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk assassination and how it really did in fact contribute to a lot of Hollywood celebrities politicizing that, using that as an opportunity to push their anti-Trump rhetoric, their anti-Trump message, if you will, or agenda onto the general public, costing the box office success of many films out there. What's interesting, though, about Disney CEO Bob Iger, though, is that he actually does have a couple of Charlie Kirk and Trump-related comments, and how it ties into the culture wars of the Walt Disney Company and more. So let's dive into this further, and how it really backfired on Bob Iger, and how it's only making him sound worse than ever before, as, like I said earlier, he's beginning to sound more and more like a politician now, as we approach the tail end of 2025. So, with the entire film industry struggling, especially after multiple celebrities that represent well-known studios decided to politicize Charlie Kirk's assassination to push their anti-Trump agenda that led to multiple box office failures for studios, one major development going on now involves more to do with Disney CEO Bob Iger, who decided to once again get political and made some Trump and Charlie Kirk related comments that instantly backfire for the Walt Disney Company. Bob Iger delivered the following in a desperate move to win back fans. Looking back at my time as CEO running this company, there have been many challenges with bold claims about how Disney embraces culture wars, and that is so far from the truth, and I don't mean to get political, but I think this is a necessary time to tap into that. When you are dealing with this current administration, the very administration that was feeding off the tragic thing that happened to Charlie Kirk to advance their police and politics, and then to have their supporters, whether it was supporters of Kirk or Trump or general right-wing podcasters, the narrative that they have built is that our company, the Walt Disney Company, race swaps or goes woke or whatever made-up words or phrases they like to use to create a narrative. There is no such thing as that. I hold no regrets what we have done here over the years with our brands like Star Wars, Marvel, and our handling of ESPN and more. But when you have those that so happen to support Charlie Kirk and President Trump creating this destructive narrative that the Walt Disney Company is carrying some kind of hidden message or an ulterior motive with the many properties that we hold today, it's all a fantasy, a bold fantasy, a desperate fantasy, to really just go blaming one side of the country. And so yeah, I'm proud with what I built for my time as CEO over the years, and whoever steps in next, I am confident that they will do more of the same as I did, but better. It's important to pressure people, whether it's common moviegoers or those that are part of fandoms of these major properties. It's important to pressure them that, yeah, they are being lied to about what the Disney Company is all about, and sadly that narrative is coming from this administration. Those that follow Mr. Kirk and President Trump, and for sure, we have seen an increase in the number of those just using that narrative that we here at the Disney Company are against fans by building some agenda and getting ourselves involved in a culture war or culture wars. Can I be any more clear? That is something that we never did, nor something that we ever will do. So yes, I have no regrets over where our properties are now and where it's all heading. We have done nothing wrong. If anything, we have shared a very special message to fans of all the properties that we have in place right now, and our future is looking brighter every day. So guys, let me just stop there for one moment about what Bob Iger is saying. The reason why I keep saying that he sounds more and more like a politician is that he's going on that constant trope that we have done nothing wrong. We've done nothing wrong here, guys, since like 2014, 2015. Look at what happened to Star Wars on Disney Plus or in the theaters. Look at what happened to Marvel. the MCU, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also when it comes to Disney Plus and their theatrical releases over the years. A lot of hits, sure, but a lot of misses as well. And that's what Disney has been going through. And that's not really so good when you're looking at properties like Star Wars and Marvel, especially after what happened to the live-action adaptation of Snow White, and how that led to the cancellation of over 10 live-action projects that were supposed to adapt classic animated movies into live-action material. So let that sink in for a moment there. Now, the fact that you have a lot of investors backing out of the Walt Disney Company and heading to invest in other, studios or productions out there instead, that is very telling. And if you look at the overall trend of the Walt Disney Company stock, especially within the past 6 months, it's very shaky right now, very erratic, if you will, and quite the roller coaster. Now, again, Bob Iger's lying. This is exactly why he sounds more like a politician when he says that the properties that they actually hold right now are very successful and they're going in places, positive places as far as he's concerned, and how they never engaged in any kind of culture wars. I actually do find it quite hilarious how he says that people come up with these phrases or these made-up words, quote-unquote, such as race swapping or going woke, etc., etc. It seems like that people or fandoms have struck a nerve for Bob Iger, and he's actually just getting very defensive and snapping back at them by delivering that, right? Now, we know one thing about this for sure is that, yes, this is exactly why fans have walked away from many properties under Disney, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, or anything to do with the live action aspects. Now, sure, when you're looking at Pixar, when you're looking at the animated projects out there, that too has been a hit or miss scenario in 2025. A lot of misses, though. Let's be very clear about that. Disney's not looking too hot right now in 2025, let alone for 2026. So, diving in further, he goes on to conclude, if anything, we have shared a very special message to fans. Just know that from, yes, a certain perspective, this is a business decision, and business can only be made by making and holding the difficult conversations like we are today. So, look, we know at the same exact time, they are really going in a downward spiral when it comes to Disney Plus. Disney Plus subscribers are abandoning ship at a very alarming rate for the Disney company, for its investors, for its shareholders. The board of directors don't know quite what to do with Disney Plus anymore, other than to really just dial down their funds for the many TV shows and other projects out there in the works for that streaming platform. And to have the goal to go dropping or name-dropping Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk supporters, President Trump this, President Trump that, it goes to show you that, yes, Bob Iger is basically a politician at this point representing Disney. That's basically what it's all about, because we all know that he did want to run for president some time ago. That's not a secret. That's a very open thing that we all know about. So I think that's why he's beginning to sound more and more like a politician. Will he run for 2028? That's a very big, bold thing to think of for sure. I wouldn't put it past him, but it's just sounding like he's becoming more of a politician now at the end of 2025. I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.